everyone. For the record, I'm Jane Cunningham. I represent the good citizens of District 7 in West St. Louis County. For efficiency purposes, if it's all right with you, I have with me Daniel O'Keefe. Daniel is with the Bryan Cave Law Firm in St. Louis, and I thought if your committee had any questions, they could direct it to either one of us, and then that would make it more efficient, if that's all right.
That's wonderful.
All righty. This bill idea actually came to me about 2 years ago from one of Mr. O'Keefe's partners. His name is Jerry Hunter, and he asked me to do this a couple years ago, so it's my pleasure to present it today. It's under the Fix the Six list that we have been working through, both in the House and the Senate, to try to bring jobs to the state and make business more friendly, be more friendly to business. Right now, there are no caps with regard to damages under the Human Rights Act, and what this bill does is simply just bring us into alignment to the federal caps. Right now, if there is a judgment, we pay actual damages and punitive damages, well, actual damages, and what this would do would cap the punitive damages to the federal amounts, and those would be, if you have 6 to 100 employees, it's $50,000. 101 to 200 employees, it would be $100,000, and so on, depending on how many employees you have. By the way, in addition to the federal caps, which are starting at 15, actually in Missouri we're dropping it down to 6, so this actually exceeds the federal caps. It also includes any wages that have been left off, and also plus interest, and also attorney's fees. In addition to that, this also aligns this also puts caps on workers' comp. If you file a claim, you should not be discriminated against. We all agree with that, but it does put the exact same caps under the workers' comp section.
Questions for the sponsor? Call your first witness or slide the microphone to him.
Good afternoon. As the senator said, my name's Dan O'Keefe. I'm with the Bryan Cave Law Firm in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm here to testify in favor of Senate Bill 221. As I think this panel knows, prior to 2005, the law of the state of Missouri was such that there was no independent right to a jury trial under the Missouri Human Rights Act. Through a series of Supreme Court decisions, the Missouri Supreme Court changed that and said there was a jury trial under that act. They then proceeded to do away with the standards that were in place. The McDonnell-Douglas burden shifting standards, summary judgment, lowered the jury instructions, etc. As it stands now, employers within this state can get pulled into court on very thin allegations. Basically, anyone with a protected characteristic, whether it's their age or their race or their gender or even their religious affiliation, who is terminated, can essentially make a complaint that it was because of that reason, and that person then gets a jury trial. You can't get the case dismissed. You can't get the case dismissed on summary judgment. It gets tried to the jury. I have the utmost faith in our jury system, but certainly from time to time the jurors can get upset with employers and sometimes misinterpret the evidence, and unfortunately they can issue very large dollar verdicts. And for smaller employers in the state of Missouri, those large dollar verdicts could turn them upside down and kill them. And so what you have is a very likely scenario that in fact has played itself out in the state that I'm aware of, where you have an individual who's terminated for a very justifiable reason but makes some claim of a protected characteristic. The case goes through the court system, gets tried to a jury, and the jury lights up the employer for a large seven-figure damage verdict that the employer can't satisfy. The court system is not meant to be a judicial lottery. These caps are reasonable, and they allow for Missouri businesses. If the point is to punish the company will be punished, but it won't kill it or put it out of business. And frankly, we should all, particularly on the Commerce Committee, be in favor of Missouri businesses moving forward and thriving. That's all I have, but I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody
Questions
has.
for this witness? Seeing none, thank you very much. How many people here are here to testify in either favor or opposition to 221? Okay, we have about 15 minutes, which means if you can at all possible keep your testimony to the 2 to 3 minute mark, that would be very helpful, or shorter for Rich. Go ahead, Rick.
Much shorter. Missouri Chamber of Commerce, Rich Aubuchon, General Counsel for the Missouri Chamber of Commerce, going on record in support of the bill.
Thank you. Any questions for this witness? Seeing none.